Good morning, my students, or good evening, whenever you watch this video. Are you ready to start in Grammar Unit 7? Okay, let's go. So, the grammar today is talking about relative clauses. Relative clauses. At first, what is the meaning of relative clauses? Let's know together. Okay, before we start in our grammar, I have all of you to know that relative clauses has many kinds. For example, who, that, which, whose, when, where, and whom. But at first, what are the meaning of relative clauses? Number one, relative clauses are sentences we use to give extra information which can be relevant or not. Our sentences we use to give extra information which can be relevant or not. Number two, to introduce relative clauses, we use the relative pronouns, which are number one, who for people, number two, which for things, objects and animals, number three, that also for people and things, number four, where for places, number five, when for time, and six, whose for position. So, relative pronouns. To join sentences to nouns, we use relative pronouns. As we said, who used for people, which used for things, and that used for people and things, instead of repetition the subject of the sentence. Okay, as you see in that example, the man is a doctor. He lives downstairs. Okay, the man in the first sentence, and we repeat he in the second sentence. So instead of repetition, the subject, I will use the relative pronouns to make two sentences just one sentence. So it will be the man who lives downstairs is a doctor. The man who lives downstairs is a doctor. So this sentence we use the relative pronouns. I mean who. Okay? Because the subject of the sentence is people. Okay? Okay, so we can use sentences to describe nouns. Okay? Okay, another example. Now we will explain the pronoun who. Okay? For example, Ralph lives in London. Ralph makes sewing machines. Okay? Ralph repeated in the two sentences. So instead of repetition, I will make one sentence using the pronoun who. So I'll say Ralph, who makes sewing machines, lives in London. Ralph, who makes sewing machines, lives in London. This is one sentence. I used who, the relative pronoun. So, who makes sewing machines is relative clause. Okay? Okay. That or which. For example, this is a machine. This machine makes edible forks. Edible, I mean, the meaning of the word edible is you can eat with them. Okay? So, with the relative clause, I'll say this is a machine that or which makes edible forks. Okay? Okay, another example. The name of the machine is Let's Eat. Ralph invented the machine. So in this sentence, we have the machine and the machine in the second sentence. So if you want to make these two sentences just one sentence, we will use the relative pronoun. So the name of the machine that or which Ralph invented is Let's Eat. Okay? So that or which makes edible forks is relative clause. Okay? That or which Ralph invented is relative clause. Okay? So more examples. Now we will join these couples of sentences by using a relative pronoun instead of repetition. For example, Susan missed the train. It left 10 minutes earlier. So the train and it are connected. So instead of repetition, we will say Susan missed the train which left 10 minutes earlier. Susan missed the train which left 10 minutes earlier. Okay, another example. Susan missed the train. She had to postpone a meeting. That's okay? So Susan and she are connected. Instead of repeating the subject Susan, we will say Susan, who had to postpone a meeting, missed the train. That's okay? Okay. So remember, we use who to refer to people and which to refer to animals or things. That can be replaced who and which. Okay? Did you know the girl who or that came to the party yesterday? Another example. The book which or that I'm reading is very interesting. That's okay? Okay, more examples about who and which. Okay, example sentences about who. The woman who is with the red dress asking me the address was very beautiful. Okay, number 2. My teacher who came to Spain in 2001 likes to ride her mountain bike. Number 3. I think the people who or that live on the island are very friendly. Okay, the next part. Examples about which. The car which is standing in front of the apartment is my car. Number 2. The house which we rented was in pink. Number 3. The bananas which I bought on Monday are rotten. Rotten means something bad or something bad for health. Number 4. The wallet which I bought last week is already stolen. That's okay? Okay. The next part is where. So we use where to refer the places. Okay? For example, this is the hotel. We are staying at the hotel next weekend. So if I want to make these two sentences just one sentence, I'll say this is the hotel where we are staying next weekend. Another example, the city is interesting. Plus, my sister is living in the city. So with the relative clause, we can say the city where my sister is living is interesting. Okay? Okay. Another relative, which is when or that, to show the time. Okay? Okay, for example, I will never forget the day, plus I met my best friend that day. Okay, so with one sentence using the relative clause, we can say I'll never forget the day when or that I met my best friend. Okay? Okay. So let's see these examples. The first word, which is about who. So the man who is in the middle is my boss. Number 2, the man who is on the right is my brother. Okay, number 2, the word where. Okay, the mosque is the place where Muslims pray. Another example, school is the place where students study. That's okay? Okay, the computer which is black belongs to me. The computer which is white belongs to my brother. Okay, for when. 14th February is the date when people celebrate Valentine's Day. Okay, another example, 8 a.m. is the time when the students start morning classes. Okay? So now, are you ready to do this exercise with me? Okay, let's go. Number 1. October is the month. Who, where, when, which I was born. Great. When I was born. Number 2. That is the stadium. Where, who, when, which my favorite team play. So number 2 is where. Thank you. Number 3. The cheetah is the animal. Where, who, when, which is the fastest animal. Great. This is which. Number 4. A carpenter is the person who, where, which, when makes chairs and tables. Wonderful. This is who. So at the end of the video, I hope all of you to understand our grammar and to know how to use the relative clauses in a speech and in sentences. So thank you for watching and listening, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.